Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Unruly Fashion Podcast. I am your host, Noella Eze, and welcome back. Let's see. Before we start, as usual, I'm gonna do my intros. We are recording on a Sunday, and I'm sure you're wondering why is one eye smaller than the other. You're probably not wondering, but now you've noticed it because I've called attention to it. Hello, allergies. My sister's home for reading week, and she brought her cat who loves me and she's adorable, our resident terrorist Cece, who refused to, if you notice, like if you follow me on Instagram, it's the menace that refused to let me do my New Year shoot in peace. But she's back here and I'm very allergic. But she refuses to let me have peace. So I woke up this morning with one eye almost swollen shut. But as usual, as my Nigerians will say, we continue to locomote because I can't. So I just popped a bunch of reacting, counteracted it with coffee, and here we are. And then that said, I do want to say something. For everybody that's followed along so far in season 3, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for everything you've done so far. I know that we've kind of lost the plot for a bit, and it doesn't seem like I talk more about fashion. I just I come in and I talk about my life and I move on. That's because I don't like to talk about my struggles, like my mental health struggles, but depression has had me in a chokehold for a little bit. But you know what I do and what I believe is every single day just get up and try. And I said that this year my resolution was going to be to keep trying, and that's always been my resolution, but this year a little more, just give it a little bit more oomph. So if you feel that I haven't been talking about fashion, or if you didn't even notice and this is the first time you'd be like, oh yeah, that is true, look at you, you're a sweetheart. I love you. Thank you so much. Anyways, that's my little spiel. I hope you're having a great day. You're gonna hear this on a Wednesday, so happy Wednesday to all my favorite Wednesday children. And this episode we're going to talk about shoes, right? And then one thing I've noticed that I also stopped doing is I stopped giving segues for the ads. But I did that because in the YouTube videos, it was so weird when I kept quiet for a little bit. Because on the audio, when you just listen to it as an audio, the ads enter seamlessly and things like that, and it doesn't seem weird when I'm paused. But if you're watching me, it's weird because why is she quiet? Or maybe if you're the kind that's like, oh my gosh, she shut up for a little bit, you enjoyed that part, but you're a hater. You can't stop me. Today, we're teaching. Today, school is in session, class is in session, and we're gonna discuss shoes. So I wanted to discuss shoes, and this is because I saw a picture on Instagram quite recently, and someone was wearing a pair of sandals, and she was complaining. She was like, why do shoe manufacturers do this? My pinky toe is hanging out. This is so uncomfortable. I really love these shoes, but they don't look good when I have them on. And I immediately was like, oh my God, oh honey. I mean, it's not somebody I know, but my friend sent it to me, and I said, oh honey, it's because you'll have the wrong foot shape for it. And the thing is, with shoes and with clothes and with a bunch of things, my governing mantra is no matter how much I love it, if it is not for my body type or if it's not for my foot shape, I'm not buying it. I'm just gonna be sad about it and just be like, that's not for me, because everything cannot be for you, unfortunately. But that doesn't have to do with sizing. It just means the way that the cloth is structured. For example, square necks look terrible on me. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't have the shoulder width to carry it off. Maybe because I don't have the bosom, whatever it is. But every time I wear a square neck, I look stupid. So I don't buy them. That said, with shoes, I have narrow feet. Narrow, and there's three predominant types of foot shapes, right? So there's what's called the Egyptian foot, where your big toe is the biggest appendage that you have, and all the other ones are smaller in order. So it's almost like a triangular foot shape, right? And then there's the Roman foot, where all your appendages are almost the same height all across. So your big toe is here, and then all your small toes are also just the same width and height all across. And then you have the Greek foot, where your big toe is smaller than your second toe and sometimes the second and third toes, and then all the other ones are small. So it's kind of like a triangle. So that's a Greek foot. So let me run that by you again in case I talk too fast. So we have the Egyptian, which is, think of a right angle triangle. So it's toe here and then it goes down. And then when we do the Roman, think of a square. So we have just toes the same length all across. And then the Greek is think of a house roof. So it's like it slopes up a little bit and then it starts to come down, right? Bearing that in mind, it also the width of your foot. So you could have a Greek narrow foot or a Greek wide foot, Egyptian narrow foot, Egyptian wide, and so on and so forth. I have an Egyptian foot type, and my feet are narrow, which makes it borderline impossible for me to find shoes. My feet are a size 6, so they're already small, and they're small and they're narrow. So every time that people see me, they're like, "Oh my God, it must be so easy for you to find shoes." You would think it's not, because I will buy the shoes that I like, and then my feet are just dancing around inside, and it's like, who did I offend? I don't understand. I wanted to be tall. You did not give me tall. I wanted to be buxom. You did not give me buxom. And now my feet are narrow. Can I have peace? Okay, the face card never declines, so there's that. So, in keeping with that, I have 4 different props here because, like I said, school is in session. So I will show you the different kinds of toes that you have in shoes. Starting with this one, okay? This is, I know it's gorgeous, isn't it? Isn't it pretty? It's lime, it's gorgeous. This is it's not a stiletto heel, it's too thin, but it technically is a stiletto heel. And this is about a 2-inch heel, so it's way more sensible than I usually do. And then this is a square toe, right? So a square toe would work for the Roman foot. Was that the Roman foot? No. It's the Roman foot, right? The one that is like all the way like easy right across. Yeah, I was right. The Roman foot. And if you have wide feet, square toes are your friend, right? The square toe will do it for you 10 times out of 10 because all of your toes are the same width across. You don't have the issue of your pinky hanging off the edge here or your big toe like loping over the front. It's good all across. So that's a square toe. And then you have the, it's still a square, but it's a narrow pointed square toe. This is a 3-inch heel, still a stiletto, 3-inch. And this is a narrow square toe. You can see that, right? This is for people who have narrow feet. The Egyptian foot would fit here because your bigger toe is right here, and then your smaller toes, because they're smaller, it'll fit, right? But ideally, if you have narrow feet, this is your friend. If you have wide feet, not your friend, you're gonna have a pinky just hanging out. Then you have this. This is a rounded toe. It's like an almond toe, but more rounded. Almond toes are kind of pointier, right? This is a chunky heel. It's a chunky 2-inch. This toe is good for my narrow-footed babes. If you have an Egyptian toe as well, a Roman foot as well, so Egyptian feet, not a Roman. Roman won't fit here because your feet are wide. So Egyptian or Greek, this is your friend. And if you have narrow feet, this is also your friend, right? Unfortunately, like there's not a lot of shoes that are wide feet, squares are your friend. Narrow feet, more rounded toes are your friend. And then you have the pointy shoe. This is the most selective of all shoe types because it is ridiculous. If you have the Roman foot, don't wear these. That's why they hurt here. It hurts like hell. It's squeezing your foot, and that's how you get corns and bunions. If you have the Egyptian foot, this is your best friend because your toe fits snugly, and then all the other ones will just follow along and it's good. And then the Greek foot will also fit, but it will hurt as well. So this is just really for the Egyptian foot babes. And then also if your feet are narrow, so you have to be narrow and Egyptian for this to work. This is also a stiletto heel. And those are the 4 kinds of shoes that I have right now as props. There's several more. There's a rounded toe. Those I don't like because, I don't know, they look dowdy to me. But they suit a bunch of people, right? They work out for a bunch of people. Then there's also like, there's the oblique, which is just, it had the Egyptian foot in mind because it's almost like a right angle triangle style of shoe. And that's the one that I saw the poor girl complaining about because she had wide feet, she had a Roman foot, and then she fit it in this oblique shoe, which is very cute, but it's so selective. It's like the pointy shoe, it's very, very selective. So the oblique is made for Egyptian foot types only. It's very selective. I will talk about those. I don't have those because like I said, if my feet don't fit, I don't buy it. Because it's not like it just doesn't do well for me. And also, if I don't understand why one end is pointy and the other end is, I don't think it's cute. If I don't think it's cute, even if it fits me, I don't buy. So those are the 4 kinds of shoes. My wide foot girlies, like I said earlier, the square toe is your friend, really. because it accommodates you. You're not uncomfortable. You know, like your feet are like well proportioned. The way you get corns and bunions is when your toe rubs along the sides of your shoe. That's how you get corns. For someone who has narrow feet, I still have corns. And do you know why? Because I wear shoes like this. I wear shoes like this. Here, these sides, ugh, like, and especially if you have a toe, you know, like when your toe is like bunched out on the side, that is a bunion, but that's the foot that you have. If you wear anything that's narrower up top, it is agony. It is agony. It is because you have the wrong foot type for the shoe that you're wearing. So, to recap, I know this was a quick class, yeah, but I'm quick with it. Also, I think my laptop is dying because I don't have sense. But I'm gonna make this so quick. To recap, the square toe, if you have wide feet, narrow, it doesn't. If you have wide and narrow feet, wait, no, sorry, that doesn't make sense. If you have wide Roman feet, the square toe, gorgeous. 10 times out of 10 will not fill you. If you have narrow feet but still have a Roman foot, this will work, but you will just find your leg like swimming around inside. And then that's how you get slippage, because your feet do not fit like right across where they're supposed to fit. That's how, like, you wear a shoe that's exactly your size, and it happens to me with the shoe. It's exactly my size. It's a size 6, but when I put it on, because I have like the Egyptian shaped foot, my feet slip in front, and then I have to like use the strings to secure it, and it makes it uncomfortable when you're working. Walking, and it annoys me. But ask me why I bought it. I just contradicted everything I said earlier. I bought it because look at it now. Come on, Chelsea, come on now. Look at the material. Yeah. So, and it's a little narrower, and so it's okay. I will suffer for fashion. Don't worry. I'll wear it with wide leg jeans, and it'll be fine. So something like this, I would recommend wearing it with, like, you know, a nice lengthy pair of pants that will stop just at the crop, right? Just enough for you to see these feathers. Obviously, a mini skirt will kill because you want to show up the shoe and it ties up and things like that. That's what I recommend. And this is for my wide foot girlies. This is the square toe that suits the narrow foot Roman type. Like, this is the square toe that suits me, right? My feet don't slip forward. This shoe holds my leg like it's like a bandage dress for my feet, because I have narrow feet, right? But I still want a square toe. So that's what this is for, hence the pointiness. So this is a more rounded square toe. And then this round toe here, narrow-footed girlies who have the Egyptian style of foot or the Greek type of foot, this is your friend, right? Because it accommodates your big toe, and then it makes room for all of your your smaller toes that are going in order and getting smaller as they go along. That way you don't have the pinky hanging over or the toe hanging over the end. That's that. And do you remember what kind of heel this is? What did I say in the beginning? Are you paying attention in class? Comment if you remember. I'm not going to repeat myself. And then the pointy toe. This is just made for the Egyptian style of toe, or foot. Because, I don't know, we love Egyptians more than we love everybody. Okay, so disclaimer, I should put a disclaimer in here, because today is going to be a visual classes in session, like I said. You're going to have to watch the episode to understand what I'm saying. Unless, you know, you're one of my resourceful girlies that if I mention what sort of toe it is, you Google it. But why go through all that when you can just go to YouTube and see the shoes that I'm holding up? Also, you want to see the shoes, they're very cute. So I recommend going over to YouTube for this one, because from a sound-only episode, it's not the best. I hope that you're able to glean something from it, but go on YouTube and watch, okay? All right. So to recap, like I was saying, so this pointy toe is made purely for the Egyptian style of foot. And that's because the one big toe is gonna fit in here, right? And then all the other digits, as they are sliding down and getting smaller, they're accommodated by the pointy shoe, by the pointy end of the shoe. So you're not very, very uncomfortable. Because I have narrow feet, right? And these are still uncomfortable for me to wear, right? Maybe I was wrong. Actually, I think I have a narrow Roman foot. I was just looking at my foot right now. Why did I think it was Egyptian? No. I have a narrow Roman foot, which means like my toes are almost the same width across, but they slope slightly. So maybe that's why I thought it was Egyptian. Maybe Greek. Who knows? My feet are too small. Anyways, But these are uncomfortable because my feet are about the same width. You know, my toes are about the same width, so they all have to shove in here. Okay, and then remember when I talked about the oblique shoe type? The oblique, you see how this one is perfectly triangulated, so it's basically a triangle. And oblique, this triangle would be off to the side. So it would almost be like a twisted this way. And then, you know, which is why it accommodates for just the big toe. And that's why it's perfect for the Egyptian style of foot. So the, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the girl that I was talking about, she had a wide Roman foot, and she put on an oblique pair of sandals. So her pinky toe was just out to exile, and it was very sad. But that just means the shoes were not made for you. So that's it. That's it for shoes. Like I mentioned, there's so many other types. I don't have a lot of them, but you know, the ones that I have, I will walk you through what you should and should not do depending on your foot type. And also, there's also different types of feet, right? Like I said, I'm over here like trying to assess what type of feet I have. I thought it was Egyptian for a while, but it's looking like it's, who knows? So I will like walk you through the process of doing that so that it's easier for you to buy shoes, and not just that, buy shoes that you can keep. You know, buy shoes that have longevity. I always say, if you don't splurge on anything, splurge on shoes. I'm not saying go out there and spend $1,000 on shoes. I mean, if you wanna, if you got it like that, yeah, girl. But your feet carry you everywhere. So your feet, you need to be comfortable. Your feet carry you everywhere. You don't want to develop unnecessary like calluses at the bottom of your foot. You don't want to develop bunions or corns. Those are painful. You know, you don't want to develop like rough patches, you know, scar tissue because your foot is rubbing on the material. Just, you know, make like I do sometimes when I see something that I really like, but it's just not for me because that's not how my body or foot or appendage was created. I make my peace with it. It's not for me, and it is not for me. It is what it is. Maybe in the, you know, and your foot shape is not one of the things that you can change. I could get big, you could get bigger or smaller, but your foot does not, you know, if you get bigger, your foot can get wider, but the shape, the fundamental shape of it is not going to change. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I did. Shoes are my favorite thing. So I'm gonna run you through. Sorry, like I said, if you remember what type of heel this was, you can comment it, and then let's see who was paying attention in class. I will do way more of these because I'm way too excited to do them. And also, if you know anything about me, you know that shoes are and remain my eternal love. So that's it for today. You can catch us on social media at Unruly Fashion Pod. The Beyonce giveaway is still on. I had a few people ask because of the way that the poster was worded. People were under the impression that it was 2 tickets. There are 2 tickets. One of them is for me. How can I give you a ticket and me I will not go? You people even fear God. 1 ticket is for me. The other one is for you. So it's 1 ticket that's being given away, right? But there are 2 tickets. Okay, so just to be clear with that, the giveaway is still on. The announcement is going to be April 30th. I know that seems like a long time, but it's also like to get, because half of the issue is I'm trying to get traction on the podcast page because, like I said, you know, the seasonal depression has had your sis like this, so I haven't been able to create content. I know, thank you for sticking with me this long, but I will do my best. But for now, I'm just settling for bribing you to follow me on Instagram. Please and thank you. And also there's a $100 ASOS gift card that's also in it for the win. Those are still going on. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, get the word out there, help the girl out, and thank you for joining. Like I said, Unruly Fashion Pod on Instagram, at the Podpire Network on Instagram, at the Noella E, that's my personal account. Yeah, follow us on YouTube, please. Comment. I forget to say the like, comment, and subscribe because I just assume if you're watching on YouTube, you are subscribed. But like, comment, subscribe. When you comment, you know, it boosts engagement. And then send this to your friends who love shoes but never quite know what type of shoe to buy for their foot shape. I will put the types of shoes, you know, in the clips for this, so you can see when I talk about a Roman foot, you can see what I mean. When I talk about an Egyptian foot, you can see what I mean. And when I talk about, you know, Greek foot, you can see what I mean. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining the party, and thank you for staying for class. I hope you took notes. I will have a quiz next week. No, I won't. But that's neither here nor there. Have a good day, and yeah, I'm gonna see you next week. Adios. Let me go to brunch.